Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiance Central, and I'm your host, Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So happy Valentine's Day, everyone. It's the day of love. And before I get on to today's video, I just want to mention that there is a sale at radiancecentral.com. I've put everything on sale for today, for Valentine's Day. So it's a 10% discount on everything, which includes the 7-day raw food challenge that starts this coming Monday, the 10-day juice fasting program that starts March 4th, the acne program, and also telephone coaching. It's health and lifestyle coaching with me. All the packages and programs are all on sale for 10% discount, and to get that discount you just have to enter in the discount code, which is LOVEDAY, and when you're checking out. And the sale goes on till midnight tonight, so midnight February 14th Eastern Standard Time. All right, so go to my website, radiancecentral.com, and check that out. Now, on to today's topic, which is how did I meet my husband? I thought, since I've received a few requests to talk about this, and it's Valentine's Day, it's a perfect day to talk about how I met my husband. We met about 3 years ago here in Bali, Indonesia. My husband, his name is Gede. And he's originally actually from Lombok, Indonesia, but he's been living in Bali for the past 15 years. He has a landscaping business here. He makes gardens for hotels and villas and private homes. He also has a plant nursery and a little plant shop. And yeah, and that's what he does. So yeah, we met here in Bali, and I thought maybe I'd actually talk, before I talk about how we met and fell in love and all that, I'd talk a little bit where I was at in my life, because the story can be a source of inspiration for those that are single and that haven't been dating for a while. Because when I met my husband, I actually stopped dating for a few years, and so I've been single for a while, and I think that the story could inspire those that have been single for a while and that are having a hard time getting back into dating. So before I met my husband, I had stopped dating. I'd actually made a conscious decision to stop dating for a little while, and pretty much where I was at in my life back, probably like in my early 30s, there was a time when I was going through a big transition, and I'd been away in Australia for a few years and traveling, and when I returned to Canada, I was going through this point in my life where I needed big change in almost every area of my life, including relationships. And at that time, I decided I wanted to take a year off of dating, off of relationships, off of everything. And I wanted to use that time to just focus on myself and start getting my life back together. In many ways, I was not well. I had a lot of health issues that I wanted to focus on my health. I also wanted to change my career. I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to figure out where I wanted to live. I knew I didn't want to live in Canada. I wanted to live abroad. I wanted to settle down somewhere. All of that. Like, I was just kind of going through a little bit of sort of a mid-youth crisis, I would call. And so one of the things is that I needed time off of relationships. I didn't want to be focusing on that. I needed to focus on myself. And what happened though was that 1 year kind of turned into many years, and this happens once in a while, where we decide to maybe take some time off relationships and then get comfortable in it. And that's kind of what happened to me. Was I was more comfortable being on my own and not being in a relationship and just being single and taking care of myself and not being with someone. And what ended up happening though was that 1 year turned into many years, and then it became kind of difficult to get back into dating and getting back into meeting men and relationships and all that. It was like I became really comfortable being alone. And I have to also say, my personality itself, I'm a little bit of a loner. Like, I'm not like a social butterfly or all of that. Like, it doesn't come very easy for me. And so back then it was even more of a challenge to be social. And so what ended up happening was I kind of let that take its own course. And I think people around me were kind of getting nervous, because I was getting into like my mid-30s and I was single and I was alone and I wasn't interested in dating, and friends and family were kind of like, when are you going to get it together? When are you going to get out there? When are you going to start meeting people? And there was a lot of pressure coming from sort of the outside to me, but I knew in many ways I need to sort other things out in my life before I can get onto that. And I needed to build myself back up. And so I spent a few years just focusing on going back to school, starting a new career, and even moving abroad, getting my health back together, getting strong, getting fit, and all of that. That it's only until I moved to Bali and settled down in Bali that I was ready to start dating again. And at first it was quite daunting because I didn't even know where to start, and it was a challenge for me to like get out and be social again and all of that. So the two things that really kind of helped me along was that I decided that no matter what, if someone invited me somewhere, I had to go. Okay, because that was a big thing, was that I was a loner. I like to spend time by myself. It was easier spending time by myself. It was easier just taking care of me. I always kind of felt like going out and being social, a lot of times it was draining for me, or it put a lot of pressure on me, that I had to kind of just change my attitude with that and just kind of let go and just be like, you know what, if someone invites me somewhere, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just go, even if I go for 10 minutes, I have to go. And so that was the first kind of thing that I did. And the second thing was that I also wanted to take the pressure off of meeting someone, that instead of looking at it like, okay, I want to go out, I want to date, and I want to find a boyfriend or a husband, instead, I looked at going out and meeting men as practice. You know, that I was just going out to practice being social. I was going out to practice talking to men, practice being a woman in a man's company, just practice getting out there. Not looking for a future boyfriend, or, you know, is this going to turn into anything, or is this guy a potential husband? Like, none of that. You know, that I was just going out there to practice being social again. And that really helped to sort of take the edge off things and to take the pressure off things, and not to expect anything. It was kind of like once the expectation was lifted, and once the pressure of making something work or something come out of something, once that was taken away, it was much easier for me to get out there and actually talk to people and not be so nervous or anxious or shy. So that's what I started doing. And what ended up happening was I was invited to a housewarming party, and I again had to kind of push myself to go, and I was in fact quite late for it. I was like one of the last people to arrive, and I think half the people, or majority of the people, had already left. But as long as I got there, that was what mattered, right? So I got to this housewarming party, and I met a really nice couple, and they were my age, and I just thought they were really nice people, and I connected with them. I had a lot in common with them, and at one point I thought to myself, you know, they're really cool people. Maybe they have someone cool that they can introduce me to. And so in mid-conversation, I kind of blurted out, do you by any chance know someone to introduce me to? And I wasn't expecting them to say yes, but they did. And next thing you know, the guy actually took out like his phone and took a photo of me and sent it to the guy he wanted to introduce me to. And next thing you know, like I was set up on like a blind date at the end of the week. And I, to be very honest, I almost threw up. I was just like, oh no, what have I done? I'm not ready for this, you know, like it was like suddenly I was just thrown into a situation that was just a little bit over my head. But at the same time, I knew I had to just go ahead and do it, right? Just let go, just do it. And so, and a few days later, we all went on a blind double date, and I met G'day there, and he was very shy. He was very quiet. And plus, also too, you know, my husband, G'day, he's from Lombok. He's from the jungle. I'm from Canada. I'm from a city in North America. Like, you know, very different people. But the two of us actually had a lot in common. And the things that we actually had in common were more our values and more the things that we were interested in. That, to me, it was very interesting that, you know, we're coming from two different cultural backgrounds, two different lifestyles, two different everything. And, you know, the things on the surface we might not have had in common, but the things we believed in, we did. And that's what I think kind of got us together, and for me to actually give it a shot to get to know him. And I think also too what happened in the beginning was that we met with our blind date. It was a little bit nerve-wracking. We were both very nervous and shy, and it took us a few weeks to actually see each other again. And this was a learning experience for me, because normally if we didn't set something up within a few days, I'd be like, oh, he's not interested, forget it. But it was the first time where there was no rules, and I kind of had to let go of the rules and just let things happen if they were going to happen, and see him again if I'm going to see him again, and look at it again like it's just practice. I'm just practicing talking to someone and getting to know them. And I have to say, the thing that when we finally did see each other again, I think the one thing that that kind of drew me to him was that he told me that his favorite book was The Secret. And if I was in North America and someone had said, yeah, their favorite book is The Secret, I'd be like, okay, well, you know, a lot of people have heard of that book. But here I am in Indonesia, right? I don't even know it's translated into the Indonesian language. And like, how many people here actually read a book like that? Not many. And so that was the thing that kind of intrigued me about him, was that we were into similar things. And as I got to know him, the one thing that really stood out was that it wasn't work to get to know him. It wasn't work to become friends with him. It wasn't work to connect, you know, whereas in all my previous relationships or encounters with men was that I always found relationships to be stressful. You know, it was always something to work on. I always had to work on myself in order for the relationship to work. I always had to work on that person, you know, and it was the first time where it was just very natural, where it was, he is who he is, I am who I am, and we were so different, and we still are so different, but we just naturally connect. And so, and I have to also say too, is that I think the one thing that drew me to him, and the one thing that I fell in love with, was that he's always inspired me to become like a better person. And I say this, and I'm almost emotional saying it because it's so true, is that he's a lovely, lovely person that never do I meet people like that treat people so well, or how, you know, the integrity he has and what he puts into everything he does was just always amazing to me. That's what attracted me to him, and eventually we, after a year of dating, we got married, and a year after that we welcomed our daughter into this world, and yeah, we're like a beautiful family now together. And so yeah, I didn't think I was going to get this emotional talking about how we met, but yeah, it's a true treasure of the heart, and I just want to share this beautiful story because love is something very special. And the one thing that I've learned, you know, that I mean, I got married in my mid-30s. You know, most people, they hope to do that in their 20s, and this is something I did later on in life. And that's one thing I learned, was that sometimes it definitely is worth waiting for. And it's worth it to wait for what is true and what is right and what really resonates with your heart. There's never a rush for any of these things. Me, I've done a lot of things much later in life, but my life is full of magic because of that. You know, it's like everything I've done it because I really wanted to do it, not because it was the right thing to do. And so yeah, that's my story. So I'm gonna end there. I don't think there's anything else I need to say, but I just want to remind everyone again about the special. If you are interested in joining 7-Day Raw Food Challenge or the 10-Day Juice Fasting Program, or you want coaching, I do both lifestyle and health coaching. So there's a 10% discount today, February 14th, Valentine's Day, to celebrate love. And the discount is only up until midnight today, February 14th, 2014, midnight Eastern Standard Time, and the discount code is Love Day. All right, so I'm wishing you guys a fabulous Valentine's Day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.